Welcome to One Up Fantasy, helping you one up the fantasy football competition. For the latest in Chicago sports news, visit ChiCitySports.com. And now, here are the hosts of One Up Fantasy, Steven Johnson and Chris Jackle. Kaboom!
Hello, Clarice. It's just me. How's everybody doing tonight? Just kidding, it's not just me. I got a special surprise for everybody that are joining us live. Steven's gone, which is scary to think. Phil, Shane, Steven, Zach, hope you guys are watching. Hope I don't make you nervous all by myself. Actually, I'm not all by myself. I bumped into a guy over at the dispensary about 10 minutes ago. Let me bring this gentleman in the room.
Yo, it's Claudio the Barber. This is. Oh wait, that's a wrong. Oh shit! What the fuck? Lights went out. What the fuck?
Oh Jesus Christ! That fucking wheels have already fallen off the bus. We just got started here. What the hell did you do? You got a fire going on over there?
Shit. That would have been good if I planned that shit, right? What is up, bro?
Dude, not much, man.
Start the show. What up?
Oh, hey, you never know. Steven's gone. I'm the captain now, so.
Listen.
Shit may get weird. Who knows?
I guess it just got weird.
Can you smoke meth live on TV? I don't know. Is that allowed? I don't know.
Pass it, bro. Pass it. All right.
Oh, wrong
way.
Wrong one.
There you go.
Oh, kinship. Look at that, buddy.
All right, let's go. Let's talk fantasy, bro. What's
up? You're here. I want to talk some fantasy, obviously. That's the name of the show, One Up Fantasy. So, like and subscribe, obviously, if you're listening. Tell your friends. Let's be boys or girls or however it works. Shane, cut that. But with that being said, you're in the league, right? We have the fantasy podcast or the fantasy football One Up TTNL Fantasy Football League. You're in the One Up division. I'm in the TTNL division. So I wanted to kind of bring you on to talk about how things went for you week one, but also just have you here as fantasy reinforcement. So how'd it go for you week one?
Well, I took an L to Sandman. I did. My team is good. I mean, Steven thinks I had the best team, pre-week one. I still like my team, but Aaron Rodgers is obviously fucking. It hurt to fucking draft him, but in the third round, I had to take him. But he fucking shit the bed like the whole Packers did, which was nice to see. And Najee Harris didn't come to play for me, so I lost by 10 points to Sandman, and that was why. So, but I'm happy though. I'm happy with my team.
You got a good team. I know we had a little side bet. There's some of us in there that got into a little action, highest scoring team. You're messing with the powerhouse there over on the other side of the pond. My squad put on I feel bad for Josh E. I beat the brakes off him. He's taking L's all over the place.
Wow.
But we definitely, the captain Justin Fields went, we kind of just we didn't even spit on it when we went to town. We just went to work. And I love that Shane's going to I didn't want to say as I thought what I was going to say out loud. And I knew Shane will probably record what I said. So,
of course he will.
But I do have the scores from the league. I know some of you guys are watching, so I do want to bring some of that stuff up while we are chatting about it. Do you have any idea who let you down outside of Rodgers, or who actually did well for you?
On my team who did good for me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had Dak Prescott and CD Lamb, so right off the jump, I was starting off pretty nice. There's the team.
And so these are just the scores from the league.
Oh, that's just the scores from the league. Okay.
Yeah, this is the scores.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously Dak and CD Lamb went off, and I think that's going to be all year long thing, really, as long as they don't get hurt. I think that's going to be it. I mean, obviously, Amari Cooper's going to be in there and getting catches too, but I was never a big fan of Ezekiel Elliott. I didn't have any shares of him because I don't know. I just think they're going to pass the ball like crazy. And so,
all right. Well, actually, while we are chatting about it, I'm just going to bring it up for you, make it easier for you, because Sandman fucking beat you. And
I was talking shit too. I think I talked shit to him.
That's what happens.
And I usually don't talk shit. That's the thing. And that's what happens.
Sandman's got a beast of a team. I mean, with Brady and Kamara.
Yeah.
I don't know. But with that being said,
go ahead.
Your team was just kind of some underperformers. Najee Harris hurt you big. I feel bad.
Najee Harris and Aaron Jones. I mean, they killed me. So whatever. It's all good. It's week one.
It is.
Like I was telling you pre-show, man. Week one overreactions. That's all week 1 is.
And that's what we're here to talk about. Yeah. I just want to show that, show you how I just beat the crap out of Josh. It was just wonderful. Kyler Murray. It was like everybody that hit was on this squad, man. Joe Mixon, except for Julio. He let everybody down this week, but that stack with Kyler Murray and D-Hop.
It's not.
Oh, shit. Gesicki.
17.
I forgot.
Julio,
I had Gesicki on my squad, and he had 0 points as well. Yeah. But, nonetheless, I just, bringing up the stats here and showing everybody how this looks. But, the Sleeper app, this is not a paid sponsor, but it's a phenomenal app.
We don't have paid. You don't have paid sponsors yet?
No Manscaped over here. That's just something we do on the side, to make a little bit of bread. That's how I pay for my Patreon fee.
I think it's Steven's fault.
But, speaking of overreactions, dude, there's been some shit all over the league that the fucking San Francisco 49ers running backs, after what happened with Trey Sermon at like 11:30 on Sunday, I don't know what you were doing. You're probably antiquing or cutting hair or whatever, but dude, they made the announcement that he was a healthy scratch, and people kind of panicked because he was projected to do decent. Yeah. He was on one of my rosters. I had to actually take him out. I was surprised. Who knows? I heard on the Twitter sphere, or whatever you want to call it, that he actually got into some trouble. Again, a rumor. I saw that him and Brandon Ayuk, they got caught late for curfew or some sort of bullshit. Yeah. But I'm just kind of not making that up. I read that with these two red eyes. But I still have no confirmation. But to that point, though, there was somebody that stepped up for them, and that was Elijah Mitchell. And when Mostert went down, I skipped the fact that Mostert got hurt.
Well, that was what affected me. I have him in two leagues, and I have him in the T10L league. And I was very optimistic about him. Last year I never had him, but I went against him multiple times, and he fucking killed me. So I'm like, this year I'm getting me some fucking Mostert, but.
He's just one of those dudes too, though. He seems to always get nicked up. He's just a smaller back, I think. I've never had him on a fantasy team. He's just one of those dudes. It's kind of like a Joe Mixon. I just never draft him. This year's the first year I ever had Mixon on a squad. And
morals, bro. Remember I was telling you about that.
We had that conversation. Yeah,
I'm gonna put it out there. I don't draft. There's a list of guys I will not put on my team because of them doing some type of violence towards women.
Do we have to bring your roster up again, Claudio, and go through as you sit here and smoke CBD here on the YouTube and all that other nonsense?
Tobacco, bro. I don't do CBD. It's tobacco.
Oh shoot, smart. That's better for you. It's much more. It's healthier. But seriously, the Niners moving forward, they just announced that Mostert's out for the year. And you were saying people are sending them death threats and shit.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody heard about this. I saw this real quick today. His wife, I guess, was pleading with fans that were sending her, not death threats, sending her messages saying that he should kill himself and that he's glass and he's this. It's just out of control. These people. I love social media. I don't love it because I don't do it a lot. I love on social media. People say shit they would never say to somebody's face. Never say it to their face. And of course. It's just fake bullshit. So it's like these people are just, they make me laugh. So.
Keyboard cowboys, internet tough guys.
Exactly.
It's just the same thing like the blog boys that Phil talks about. Fuck those guys.
But worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, very much so. And anybody can hide under a fake profile and all that other bullshit online. But with that being said, unfortunately for me, I guess Claudio, he did score like 26 points from my fantasy team, and I did put up like the second most points on my team. Didn't think about any of that stuff when I drafted him, but I understand what you're saying.
Listen, I'm not saying. Listen, if you have him on your team, it's just something I do. It's nothing against you. You're an asshole.
Oh, yeah, that's how we were saying off air. You're like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. No, yeah, I got the text. I got the receipts, But speaking of
listen, I'm happy remember when Kareem Hunt was a free agent and there was a little bit of time where we were thinking we were going to get him? I'm like, please. Yeah, I was not taking.
That was tough. That that video, and it's kind of like
it's just whatever. Let's
you don't want other players to have to answer about shit like that, and so if you can avoid bringing that into your clubhouse, then I see what you're saying. But I don't have a clubhouse. Too much. I got a virtual one for my fantasy squad, man. So we're not having those issues,
Yeah, the more we talk about this, the more negative comments we're gonna get.
What the fuck, man? Joshy's gonna have a hard time over there. But and what's up, Ralph and Logan? Hope you guys are having a good night. But I just wanted to jump back to the Niners. They have options. moving forward. Elijah Mitchell just had a great night. I think it was 19 carries, like 104 yards. He had a touchdown. He looked great, and he was a 6th-round pick. Sermon was a 3rd-round pick this year, so they loaded up on running backs. I was surprised by how well he did. Granted, I think he's owned in like 4% of the leagues all over the place, so it's like I think everybody was surprised. So he's out there, and we're going to get to that later on. But I think that with moving forward, it's going to be hard to kind of gauge with Elijah Mitchell, and I think Trey Sermon, you're going to see him playing. He's going to step up. He's going to be a guy that I think hopefully was just getting punished, because he looked fucking awesome in the preseason. And he balled out at Ohio State too. And he seems to be the dude that was going to be taken over for Mostert anyway. But truth be told, he didn't fucking play.
It's next man up. And in the NFL, if you're getting snaps, you got a chance to put up points. So, that's really what it's about.
I mean, they did this. They brought Trey Lance in. He played a little bit. He scored a touchdown. And so who knows? Maybe they'll incorporate him in the game, bring up Trey Lance's fantasy value. But, it's a story for another day, Speaking of overreactions, I watched before I realized I could buy the Red Zone at home. I was watching just the Cardinals-Titans game. And
that was interesting.
The Titans looked god awful, man. They were trying to force the ball to Julio early. Tannehill just looked like out of rhythm, and Taylor Lewan, I think he's an offensive tackle. He just came back after hurting his knee. So who knows? But Chandler Jones abused the fuck out of that team, and
incredible 5 sacks, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost like Leno was over there. Just go ahead, have at it. You know what I'm saying? But
imagine him against Leno. Do they play each other?
I hope not for Washington, for Heineke's sake at this point. They're already down a QB over there.
I like Heineke, though. I like him.
I do too. So, I don't want to get hurt. That's what I'm trying to say. Fucking Leno. I love how he steps on Fitzpatrick's leg after he gets crushed.
Oh, no, he put his I think he put his weight on his hip and
he's such a piece of shit.
He didn't know he was hurt.
Actually, I wouldn't say that to Leno's face, so I probably shouldn't say that here. So
no, he's not a piece of shit. He's really not. He does nice stuff. He's just sucked as
I kid.
Yeah, exactly.
But
the Titans, man. Yeah,
they let a lot of people down.
Derrick Henry obviously let people down. He got stuffed, and that offense obviously is Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry's not running, that offense ain't gonna.
Henry had 17 carries, 58 yards. They had 19 yards in the air, so he had 70, or he almost had 80 yards. 10.7 fantasy points. A.J. Brown had 8 targets for 4 catches, 49 yards, and a tutty, though. So he had 14.9. Julio Jones had 3 catches on 6 targets, 29 yards.
You bring up Julio Jones. The biggest thing I took away from that game was his bullshit, personal foul, whatever he did, how Vrabel handled it in the presser. Nagy should take some fucking notes. You call the motherfucker out and you tell him, and you say publicly that shit don't fly. That's it. So, that's what I took out of that game. I had to bring the Bears into it. Sorry.
No, I appreciate it. I just learned I can get some never mind. I'm not going to say it out loud. It's in the comments, but be able to get some stuff for free online. So I appreciate that, Ralph and Irish Rasta. Thank you. Just circling back though, I think that Tannehill also just did not look good. And that could have just been a product of the Cardinals. They could have just had the scheme.
Team, obviously. Yeah. Well, they look like a very good team.
They look legit. Their offense was crazy.
We'll see next week. I don't know who Tennessee has, but we'll see next week. How they rebound. This is the other thing I say about the NFL. I tell all my customers every time we talk about the NFL, the only thing consistent is inconsistency. Okay, so most weeks you're going to see teams will play differently. Most teams. Obviously, there's teams that are consistently good or consistently bad, but for the most part, it's like that. So we'll see how Tennessee.
I think the Titans play. I think it's the Seahawks, but
is it Seahawks? Well, that's another tough game.
I think so. I could be. I think that's week 2. Yeah. I could be wrong, but
I'm sure Henry will rebound. I'm sure Henry.
Yeah, I can't see. Yeah, it's definitely the Seahawks. So I just had to look that up real quick. Sorry about that.
Should be a good game.
And I had Tannehill going to one of my leagues that I took a horrible beat. I was up 30 going into Monday night. I had Waller and Tucker going against me, and I ended up losing by 7. I was just irritated. It was the one loss I took all day, though. All week, so I can't really complain. But still, it still hurt. staying up watching that game. He got in the end zone. I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Did you have a successful week though, fantasy wise?
No, actually, I'm only in 3 leagues. I'm
Okay.
a busy guy. I don't get paid to draft people's leagues like Steve.
And neither do I.
I'm not royalty.
I know.
Although
right?
I go way back with fantasy. I was telling you.
Yeah, explain that. Go ahead.
So I
wish I had the drop where it's like the I don't give a fuck, but I'm just kidding. So.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where Shane would fucking come in with that shit. So I grew up with Phil, obviously. So they're 7 years older than me. So all the neighborhood guys were all Phil's age. So anyway, so I got into fantasy with them when I was 12 in 6th grade. So that was before the internet. I'm 39, so that was 27 years ago. And it was cool though, because so Monday morning I'd go into homeroom, 6th grade homeroom, and get a newspaper and start looking up the stats of what my players did and stuff. So it was kind of cool.
How old are you again, Claudio?
39.
All right, so you were growing up before the internet, like I was. So you were definitely pretty neat. Yeah, kids these days.
I think I was like 13 when AOL came out. Remember the fucking beeping from the dial-up?
Oh yeah, I remember
that
it all.
Was annoying as fuck.
I remember. Yeah. Good
and
times.
Then someone picks up the phone to call and knocks you off.
Dude, I had the first. Horrible. I remember getting my
How
first
did we
cell phone.
How did we make it through?
And we were actually like real kids and played sports outside and fucking beat the shit out of each other and got along and it was cool and moved on. Took a shower and started all over the next day. Or wash the funk off or take a summer shower in someone's pool and you're good to go.
Yep.
But back to fantasy, Claudio. You got us all over the fucking map here.
Well, that damn tobacco, bro. That fucking tobacco's.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I CBD all the way, but with that being said, there were some guys that need CBD right now, and there's some injuries that happen, and I think it's kind of would be remiss if we didn't bring that up, So I don't have any intros or anything for injuries, and I'll have to talk to Steven. His production's lacking. He's away at someplace in the world. I don't want to give away his location because people
going on
definitely
vacations?
come up to him.
Fucking people going on vacations are assholes.
Yeah, he'd be like Greg Braggs and ask, signing autographs and shit.
My bad.
It's all good, man. You deserve it, But Jerry Judy, he's
saying Steven doesn't deserve it. Yeah, go ahead.
Steven deserves it. He's a good motherfucker,
right,
man.
Go ahead.
He lives in that cave that he does that podcasting from, and it's fucking wild. But
I'm jealous of his voice. He's got a great podcast.
He's got a face for radio, that's for sure, man. But with this, Jesus Christ, I probably have the best face for radio. But nonetheless, Jerry Judy out 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain.
That sucked. He looked promising.
Our boy Charles Leno ruined Ryan Fitzpatrick and broke his fucking hip. He's out like 8 weeks. Mostert's out for the year. We talked about that already. Yep. Michael Gallup's out 3 weeks with a calf injury.
Makes CeeDee Lamb even better.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. Curtis Samuels from Washington. He's out for 3 weeks with a groin injury. He's on the IR. So, a guy like Terence Marshall, we're going to get to that in the waiver wire if he's out there. But Terence Marshall Jr. is a guy that's probably going to pick up some slack from him. He didn't do all that much in week 1, but I think that's more of a long-term investment. Evan Ingram missed week 1 with a calf injury, but that's Evan Ingram. That dude is so he might as well be a bear. And then Rashad Penny from the Seahawks is dealing with a calf injury, so he's going to miss some time too. Mm-hmm. Just don't forget the Thursday night game is the Giants versus the Washington football team. And Monday night is the Lions versus the fucking Packers. So fuck them. Go Detroit, I guess. That's kind of the fantasy injuries that have some significance right now. I don't know if any of those dudes are on your team besides Mostert. I hope not, Claudio, for your sake.
No, I dodged a bullet.
Injuries suck, dude. They're part of the game, but
they're gonna happen. They're gonna happen, and that's why you have a bench, and that's why you hopefully drafted good, and all that good stuff.
Bomb squad over here.
You make any pickups? You make any pickups this week? Yeah. So, no. Tonight is the night.
Yeah, and so we're gonna get to that. The waiver wire is something I do want to talk about. Yeah. I was gonna get to that.
Bro,
no, man. Hey, but that is something we're gonna talk about, Claudio.
Awesome, beautiful.
But I have some receipts from last week. So one thing Steven and I did last week, and we do pretty much every week, is we do cheat codes and glitches where we do like a start and sit kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go back to last week where we did some pontification. We actually gave some predictions and see how we did, seeing if we're actually giving decent advice, so people would tell us to go fuck off if we didn't do well, So I'm going to start with Steven just because he's not here. And to be honest with you, I don't know if the CBD ruined my memory, but I couldn't remember. He did too. I only remember one of them. And so it was he had Mike Williams over David Montgomery. And, to be honest, he caught some shit, and I was busting his balls. Obviously, he definitely said sit Montgomery and start Mike Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He was right, actually. Surprisingly, Montgomery had a good night. He had a good night. 18.8 points. He rushed for over 100 yards. He had, I think, almost 120 all-purpose yards, 118, 16 carries, 1 catch. But Mike Williams, 8 catches on 12 targets. 12 targets is fucking awesome. So if you got a wide receiver getting 12 targets,
well, that's funny you brought him up because actually Acevedo texted me before the games, and he's like, "Who should I start, Mike Williams or DJ Chark?" And I told him Chark. Yeah, I'm like they're gonna he's gonna.
And he had a target. He did well. Chark
did he did okay. He did okay. But it's funny you brought him up because he posed that to me and I was wrong. But Mike Williams is a beast. He is a beast. I just thought going against that D, they were gonna hold him back a little bit more. So
8 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown for 22.2 fantasy points. I mean that's a great day. Wide receiver 3, I think he is for his squad, but actually, no, I think he's wide receiver 2.
It's weird to have no comments. I got to put some comments out there.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I'm trying. If you'd like to, that'd be wonderful. But so here's I took an L on one of mine, so I'm gonna start with the loss here. So I went with Tunyon. What the fuck is that?
Hold on one second.
Oh boy, Claudia, bring the show to it. Jesus, you see this guy's fucking everything up. Come on. I love it, but I could still talk with that. Sounds like we're at the beach now, Jerry Jeudy.
My bad.
No, you're good.
My air at my barbershop when
you lose your power. That happens.
My power. The fucking jet engine of my fucking air conditioner turns on. Oh my god! I usually turn it off before keeping it 100.
You should.
I forgot to, but it will go off. I just turned it off. So.
Dude, if I was Phil, I'd probably fucking scream at you, but
Phil screams at everyone.
I'm just kidding, Phil. I love you. God damn, I can't believe I just said that.
It's going to go up, but it's pretty bad.
But Robert Tunyon I said start Tunyon over Godert, and that was just awful. Tunyon had 4 targets, 2 catches for 8 yards, 2.8 fantasy points. And Godert had 4 catches on 5 targets, 42 yards, and a touchdown. So he had 12 more fantasy points. So that's just a big kick in the dick. And I just thought, I just thought Packers were going to come out swinging and really try to put stamp on it and just say, look, we're back. We're going to try to make a run. Not that I enjoy that, but fantasy-wise, But I did take a win.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I caught a slight win with Jerry Jeudy over Chase Claypool. Going against Buffalo, I thought Claypool was a tough start. He had 5 targets for 3 catches, 45 yards, 10 fantasy points. I mean, it's not bad. It's not poor. It's okay. But Jerry Jeudy, before he got hurt, he had 7 targets, caught 6 balls, 72 yards, 13.2 fantasy points. It was a win. It was going to probably look a little sweeter on my end, but nonetheless, he definitely fucking sucked. It sucked to see him get hurt. It looked a lot worse. I thought he broke his leg or ankle just watching the highlight, but apparently it's a high ankle sprain, and like we talked about, he's going to be out 4 to 6. And so it is what it is. So those are the receipt. You got to live up to something. You say it, you got to go back and at least check on that. You know what I mean, Claudio? Yeah. Right or wrong, it's what's right. So people can call you out. So you were wrong. You're fucking right.
Listen, being a fantasy analyst, whatever you want to call it, which we are not, we're just pretending to be. But even the ones that get paid for it, they're like fucking weathermen.
Oh yeah.
Listen, opinions are opinions. They get facts and stats, fed to them. But listen. We all watch the games. We all have our opinions, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
But it's all the same game. I mean, it's all literally we all have the same information. No one really can.
Yeah, for the most. Well, they just get it quicker. They just get it quicker.
Yeah, I mean, shit. You have Google. We talk about it. You look something up, and next thing you know, you can get it. That's your fingertips. But with that being said, if someone's doing it for you, it makes it a little easier. We don't have that luxury over here at One Up yet. Steven's got that in the works. He was talking to Zach about it, so we'll see how that works out. But. Just kind of moving.
It didn't turn off. Is it really bad? Like, can you hear it really bad? Is it bad?
I mean, I hear it a little bit. It just sounds like a cool breeze. We're at the beach with a cool breeze, brother.
All right, so we're good. All right.
Now, do you have any sleepers going into this week? It's week 2. It's early, so I don't know if they're really sleepers. But there's some guys out there that.
No, I mean, I haven't really honestly been able to pay much attention to to some of the matchups yet, so I don't have any sleepers yet. It's a little quick for me. You hit me by surprise with that.
No. So how about this? How about like a little start sit? I'm going to give you two guys and see what you think. And
there you go.
Let me know if you agree with what I'm kind of throwing down, and we'll take it from there. All right. So one of the guys I think in start and sit, and I could play our little cheat codes and glitches intro stuff, and I'm probably fuck that up if I try. So I'm just going to plow through here. And, I'm going to start with the quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield versus Tua. Who's texting you? Hopefully it's somebody telling you to turn your fucking fan off.
All right, go ahead. So Baker Mayfield against.
He's playing Houston Texans.
Yes.
And our boy Tua, your boy Tua, is playing the Bills. I think it kind of self-explanatory. I was big on this last week. Yeah. But is there somebody regarding who's playing the Bills with Chase Claypool and the Bills? Who do you like out of those?
Yeah,
two?
I definitely. I mean, I'm going to go Baker all day with that because. I was actually talking to a customer of mine who's a Dolphin fan today. It's funny. We were talking about Tua. We're talking about the Dolphins. And, they got a good squad. They do got a good squad. Yeah. But I think, I definitely think Baker Mayfield's going to have a good year. And I think they play Kansas City tough. And
did you catch any of that game?
I did watch some of that game. I did. Yeah, I watched some of it. I was going back and forth some games. I didn't get to watch them all, but I watched it. It was a good game. I like Baker Mayfield.
I mean, I was surprised how accurate he was. He did pretty well. I mean, they hung 29 points on the Chiefs. They kind of hung with them. I mean, there was a point there where you thought they were actually going to pull it off.
They could have. I mean, I think that throw that he got picked off, I think he just got tackled right at the second that he was throwing it away. So, I don't think that was. Yeah, he threw for 321 yards. He completed 75% of his passes.
He was a QB 25 though on the day, so he had 13.6 fantasy points. Like you said, there was that pick, which kind of takes away some points there. Yeah. Then again, now he's going against Houston, who just played Jacksonville. Granted, Houston beat Jacksonville, probably pushed Urban Meyer out to USC if you read the internet. But with that being said, Trevor Lawrence threw for over 330 yards, had 3 touchdowns. It was almost a top 10 QB for the day. Almost cracked it. He was sitting right outside at QB 11.
This is where I said only inconsistency. I don't think the Texans are some juggernaut. So I think they're gonna, I mean, so they won a game. That's great. I think they're gonna get blown out. So I think Baker Mayfield. I think this is a no-brainer.
The Jaguars won a game last year too. Their first game, they beat the Colts and then lost the next 15. So who knows? But Houston isn't supposed to be winning anything. I think they're trying to play.
Then again, But then again, Baker Mayfield's commercials suck. So I don't know. Maybe I might go with Tua.
Okay. I don't know if it's a good move. Tua actually is a tough play. I mean, he had a decent day, week one. Him and Waddle looked like a pretty solid connection. They get Will Fuller coming back this week. I think he's coming off a suspension or an injury.
So one of the two. They got speed. Yeah, no, it's
but they're going against Buffalo though. Buffalo had Big Ben last
Buffalo's
week. He threw for 188 yards. I mean, that's Big Ben, and I think, like you said, Najee Harris averaged 2.8 carries or 2.8 yards a carry, so Buffalo's tough. Their defense is legit. And, it's kind of a self-explanatory starter sit, when you talk about those two, but I definitely like, I definitely like our boy Baker against Houston. Yeah. I think he could have a big day. If you're streaming QBs,
start.
Do you ever stream QBs if you fuck up in the draft? You ever try to just go matchups?
I usually don't draft quarterbacks until late because you could definitely stream quarterbacks. Oh yeah. I mean, Baker's one of there's always matchups. Sure. There's always matchups that you can go with, but you got to do your homework and you got to know what you're doing and you got to get lucky. But you can do it. It depends on what's going on. But
speaking of luck, I mean that's part of fantasy in itself. I mean, you could be the
I'm very lucky.
And you could be the smartest dude in the room, but to win something, you got to have a little luck on your side,
Would you rather be the smartest or the luckiest?
Oh fuck! Don't you make your own luck? So if you're the smartest, you can make your own luck.
Oh, okay, that's deep. That's deep. I'm gonna think about that. That's deep.
Cut that shit, Shane.
That's a great quote.
All right, but with that being said, gonna just
wait. You know what? We got a Steve Penzennik says Mark Ingram or Cooks.
Cooks for the Texans.
And Cooks for Texans.
Okay. They both had big days, right, and I'm going to get to Ingram later on because he's a dude that I think was like, I an afterthought. And I mean, he was the leading. I think that game 3, if I watch it correctly, watching that last preseason game, Ingram led them in carries, like in their little dress rehearsal. And they were just talking during the game, like, oh, I wonder if he, maybe he's the guy. So they have David Johnson, they have Phillip Lindsay. He outdid them all. And I mean, I think he had like 26 fucking carries too, which is just fucking crazy.
Man, that'd be nice if our running back got 26 carries.
And that's perfect segue. Look at that, man.
Like that?
My next start and sit is David Montgomery versus Mike Davis.
It's like
David
right
Montgomery
here
against Cincinnati.
Yep.
And Mike Davis against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So
we know
you came up with this start sit? You came up with this start sit?
Steven and I do this every week.
Crazy, bro. Of course it's Montgomery, man.
Yeah.
Montgomery's going to be
this one because I wanted to talk about Montgomery.
Every week, Montgomery should be start in any start sit unless you're talking about Dalvin Cook, fucking, McCaffrey. I mean, listen, if he gets the carries that he's supposed to get, did you not see what he fucking just did? This dude does not go down on his first hit.
Do you think people were surprised by how he played Sunday night? He looks faster. I mean, he definitely.
Oh, I mean, I was.
We watch him all the time.
I'm sure.
So
I mean, of course, the dude. Fucking Rashad Whitfield's fucking getting, making his money with him because his footwork was fucking unreal. So, I'm
glad that hand wasn't an issue too. I'm glad he's good. But, Mike Davis is a bell cow, and the reason that he came up is just somebody that, they're playing against Tampa. So that hurts them in itself because they didn't give up any yards on the ground last time. But I wanted to talk about Montgomery here. I just think he doesn't get enough shine. I feel he's that afterthought. During the preseason, everybody's top 10 had him outside it. It's just like, it's such a fucking slap in the face.
Yeah, I'm in a 14-team league. I had the 14th pick overall.
Okay.
And I took David Montgomery. And I got so much shit. They're like, oh, you're a fucking homer. Oh, you're a homer, I'm like, no, this dude's a top 5 running back in the league if he gets the carries. Easy.
And he looked like it, even with a shit line. I mean, he did that with their poorest line. They lost 2 guys, and it's next man up like you talked about, but, they're professionals. But when you lose top linemen like that, you lose Peters and then you lose Borum and you're running out there with, whoever else is next. It sucks, but, dude.
It does, but
we have Nagy. I don't want to get into it.
But
we have Nagy, dude. And Nagy is fucking horrible, and he's demonstrated that, and I don't want to get into
it. Let's leave Nagy to Phil.
That's tomorrow night's show.
Phil will destroy Nagy.
That is tomorrow night's show.
Yeah, that's tomorrow's night show. We'll talk about something else.
But Tampa ate up what's his face last week. They definitely I just drew a blank here, but Mike Davis was a dude that he had 10 fantasy points last week, 18 carries and 72 yards. But the reason I bring up Davis is, and here's why I think he's just going to be a bad play for the Falcons. And I wanted to bring him up because I think this just speaks more to not just week 2. The Falcons are going to be behind all the time. They suck. They are fucking horrible. So Mike Pitt or, Kyle Pitts would be more of an option than a fucking guy like Mike Davis because they have to throw. They're gonna be behind. I mean, so Tampa's gonna get up early. They're gonna abandon the run, and they're just gonna, that just means more. But that just means more for the wide receivers and tight ends. And so, but on the other side of that, though, David Montgomery, if he could get those 20 touches, I mean, he almost had the ball in his hand 20 times. He had 17. The ball was in his hand 17 times. 16 carries and a catch. And he almost 120
it's good.
yards.
It's better than last year, but it's not enough. But
so it's over 5. And so he actually averaged more, I think, he averaged more yards per attempt, yards per carry than Andy Dalton did yards per completion. That's 5.6 to 5.2, I think, if I remember that correctly.
It's the saddest thing I heard all day.
Yeah, well,
all week,
don't look down when you take a pee and you'll be all right.
That was fucking good. Holy shit.
Hey, they let me talk. I got, every once in a while.
You actually got jokes.
Hey, it's what they do over here at, One Up. Steven's the stat guy. I'm the guy that, kind of fucks up and the lovable loser that smokes meth, apparently, listen, and all that other bullshit.
We're all losers, bro.
Hey.
That Beck song. We're all losers.
Oh, Jesus, man. Now you're taking us down another notch. What's next?
What do you mean? You don't like that?
No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. There's a lot right with me right now.
I know. Is there?
I think so. I feel like it anyway. Holy shit. I feel like cars right now, those edibles are kicking in, but I want to talk about the waiver wire while we're here, kind of wrapping things up, like slowly. There's like 10 guys I think that are out there. It's that time. It's actually 2 hours, I think, before, or 1 hour and 53 minutes until the waiver wire is locked. So you have to get your fucking claims in. And that's one of the reasons why we do the show on Tuesday nights, is to try to help you guys pick that one dude that you need. It's week 1, right?
Yeah.
These moves you make now are important.
But be careful. But be careful, because you got one-hit wonders in music, but you also got the 1 week wonders, week 1 wonders. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. The week 1 wonders. That's what I'm calling them. So, because every year there's dudes that go off week 1, and everybody fucking blows their load, and then they do nothing the rest of the year. So I'm sure there's some of those in here. So let's see.
And I think you're right, but it's important though to try people, it's week 1. I'm just trying to feel it out. I got to figure out my starting lineup, but these games you have to win. Like I was talking about before, I took a bad beat. That shit fucking hurt, because I hate losing early on. You assume you're going to win at the end because you're confident in your team. But when you lose early, you panic, and everyone was overreacting. Like if you had any Titans, but there were some other duds out there though that, definitely hurt, like fucking, we didn't even talk about the busts for the week, but Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan, Aaron Jones, James Robinson, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley, Julio Jones, Cortland Sutton, Marquise Callaway, Mike Evans, and my fucking boy Mike Gesicki, who I had, just killed me, got 0 points.
You lost me. Once you said Aaron Rodgers, I just went off into fucking
But Matt Ryan, and speaking of the Falcons, they were down.
The beautiful sights of him. Did you see him after the press conference in his presser, man? He looked fucking like he's 80.
Dude, I saw a clip of it today. Did you see the clip of him in the end zone? He was throwing the ball deep, and they said like there was audible. There's no of him saying "fuck it" as he threw it, and he threw it in like double coverage. Like he was.
Listen, I said this before week 1 to some people. Some people in that locker room. He lost some people in that locker room, no doubt about it. I think no doubt about it. He lost some people in that locker room. So hopefully they're not on the O-line.
Yeah, no, but yeah, he was a clear bust. But Matt Ryan, he was another one, with the Atlanta Falcons. We just talked about that with Mike Davis. They were down, they had to throw, and he still didn't put up big fantasy numbers, But Aaron Jones, another Packer, the same thing. But James Robinson was the surprise. I thought he's a guy that was going to have a big year. Steven and I both liked him. We talked about him a little bit. You have Elliott and Barkley, who are 2 big names. I think they're just, to your point of one-hit wonders. I look at week 1 as something that was more of an anomaly for them and not the norm.
Course, yeah. Especially Barkley.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Barkley. Elliott, I don't. Elliott, like I said before, I don't think he's going to have a huge year. But Barkley, yeah. Definitely.
Let me ask you, out of these 4, though, who surprises you the most, the biggest bust, or dud last week was, Julio Jones, Cortland Sutton, Marquise Callaway, or Mike Evans?
I would say Mike Evans.
Okay.
Because Callaway, he exploded in the preseason and people thought he was going to be good, but it's not something you expected.
Yeah.
And then Sutton, and what was the other guy said?
Marquise Callaway, the dude from the Saints.
Yeah, and the other one.
And Mike Evans.
No, and the other one. There was 4.
Oh, Cortland Sutton.
No.
Julio Jones.
Jesus there you
Christ,
go.
Julio. Sorry. Fuck, how much CBD you got over there? What are you eating it too?
No, you forgot to fucking say him too. What are you talking about? So yeah, Julio. Yeah, Julio's another guy was not high on this year, so I was not surprised by that.
I was, man. I thought he was a dude. Actually, I wasn't initially.
Dude, he hasn't played good the last couple of years. He gets hurt all the time. I mean,
just on that team, I thought single coverage. He's going to get some more, maybe not more opportunities, but the volume may not be as high, but the quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I just thought we were going to see that, but so far it's week 1, like you said, overreactions. That's the point. But the studs though, Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb. Those are my 3 starters right there. That sounds good to me. Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, and Deebo Samuel. Those were the top wide receivers. I mean, if you had any of those dudes, you were extremely happy. And I have a dynasty league that one of my dynasty leagues I'm in, and I dropped. I have Logan Allen. The fucking dude from now I can't even think. The dude from the Washington football team.
Logan Thomas.
Thank you, Logan Thomas. And then Jesus Christ.
You definitely earned the smoke weed every day drop, bro. Right there.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I have no idea. No,
I mean,
but I had
CBD. Sorry.
Yeah, Mike Gesicki, Logan Thomas, and I had Gronkowski, but I had to take a guy there in the sleeper app. They have a taxi squad, and I had a couple dudes on there that once week one comes and the game starts for the first game, it locks the taxi squad for the year. And I had Mac Jones on there just because any rookie we have you can stash there. Gotcha. And I was like, well, I just needed to open a roster spot, so I fucking dropped Gronkowski, and I kept the two that I just
somebody
named.
else drops Gronkowski in another league of mine. I'm like. And I tried to pick them up, and then I got to go to waivers. So I'm like, man.
But it's a dynasty league, and I was like, dude, I got 2 younger guys. I was like, I Gronk, and then I completely regret it. And now somebody's going to overpay though and use a bunch of their budget money for that waiver wire claim, so it doesn't hurt me all that bad. But it just sucked to see. I won, but
Gronk is going to have another great year. I mean, you can't when Brady is throwing the ball and Gronk is in the lineup, he's going to look for him. He's not in there just to fucking shits and giggles.
He's healthier a year off. He had that time off.
So, so I don't know how but hey.
Last year was
all
just
make
drinking
mistakes.
What are you going to do? You live and you learn. You know what I'm saying, Claudio?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing it. I'm living it.
So we're going to kind of wrap this thing up here, and I want to go over the waiver wire, and so as we kind of, as we move along in the season, Steven and I are definitely going to be doing this, ad nauseum probably, where we're going to talk about the guys that you should try to target. Most of these guys aren't on anybody's roster now, so we'll let you know their percentages of like where they fared today before, tomorrow morning when you check again, or if you're a guy, excuse me, that wakes up in the morning at like 4:00, right when the waiver wire, is open again, and you pick up those dudes that nobody else grabbed. There's guys in my leagues that do that. I'm like, who the fuck wakes up at 4:00 in the morning to do that?
I was a commissioner for a league. I wouldn't play that shit. It goes all week because you should not be able to get a guy because you can wake up at 4 a.m. You should be able to get a guy because you put a bid in more than the other people. It's fucking bullshit. Like,
and that's the difference.
Long, just do it till Saturday. Maybe make it Sunday. You can pick people up because of shit that goes on with injuries. But you make it all week. You don't do it.
Well, you have the games on Thursday now, so you got to have it at least by Wednesday. But
what's that?
But you have the games on Thursday night, so you got to have the roster set by Thursday morning. Or Thursday kickoff.
Oh yeah, but you're saying that on Wednesday you can pick up people without putting.
So Tuesday, my point is Tuesday night, like tonight, the waiver wire is closed. That processes, and typically your leagues will open up again at like 4:30, 4:20, whatever the time is in the morning. It just does it that way, and then people can then sign them as free agents again. So like, I have a couple guys in one of the leagues I'm in that does it all the time. Whatever.
And that's why
you get up early.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. To alleviate,
there should be a budget. That's how I prefer it.
Not even well, it should be a budget. But what I'm saying is, even if it's the waiver wire, you make the waiver wire go, at least all. But
you just open it up later on in the day where everyone's awake, and then
I didn't know people still do waiver wire. I mean, really.
Yeah,
people
they
still
do that. They got a couple.
You don't do budget.
Like
you don't do fab. No, okay.
I have 2 leagues.
Literally
like
the fairest way to do it.
I know.
So just.
But with that being said, there's some plenty of value out there right now. There's teams that are running back. Your fantasy team, you load it up on wide receivers. You're looking for a running back. There's some dudes out there that you can definitely grab. I'm going to start more on the guys that on the bottom of the list and work our way to the top. I think it's kind of self-explanatory this week. There's a big heavy hitter there for the top spot. We've talked about him already, but coming in at number 10, I think Carlos Hyde, a running back, for the Jaguars, who surprised everybody. James Robinson only had 5 carries, 3 receptions for 43 yards, but Hyde had 9 carries for 42 yards, 2 receptions and, for another 14 yards. If you need somebody, it looks like Urban Meyer is going more with the power running back than, did James Robinson, elusive, get the ball in his hands either way on the, once Etienne got hurt. It just everybody thought James Robinson was going to have another monster year. He's out there. He's only available, I think, if I go back and look, he's only owned by like 16%. He's on 16% of the rosters. So he's out there. If you need somebody, you're in a deeper league, he could be one of the top running backs available. You said you're in a 14-team league, right?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine a guy like that is probably going to be one of the higher waiver claims.
Bids, I'm sure it will be. I mean, I didn't look to see if he's available or what's up with it, but probably.
So Mark Ingram is coming in at number 9 for me. he's a guy I tried to scoop up right when I found out Trey Sermon was hurt. Tried to take advantage of one of the IR spots, but he's a healthy scratch, so I couldn't fucking do it. So with that being said, he actually had 26 carries, 85 yards and a tutter, man. I mean, he had 14 and a half points. He's owned in 18% of the league.
He gets a ball. He's always been a good runner. Yeah. I mean, so, yeah.
I mean, I was dumbfounded when that shit popped up, and he had almost 20 fantasy points or 15 fantasy points. But yeah, he's only on 18% of the rosters out there. So he's another guy. Like, and running backs are at a, you never know. It's a running back by committee in Jacksonville. But with that being said,
wide receivers are deep. You can find wide receivers. Running backs are way more important.
And we're trying to find you value here because this is the name of the game. We want you to one up your competition. But with that being said,
I wish I had this list and I could have studied it. I'm learning along with you.
I'll send it to you.
Keeping it 100, right? Keeping it 100.
Hey.
I'm on.
You live and you learn again. See, that's what happens.
I came on tonight.
I'll shoot this to you an email, man. Don't worry. You got some time left.
I'm just letting everybody know. You texted me, a little 2 hours ago. You're like, yo, can you come on the show?
We were talking. We got some ideas too. Some little barber ideas we were talking about earlier today. Once I knew you were able to get in the studio, I was like, dude, you got to come on, man. That'd be perfect.
Well, I'm just saying.
I couldn't imagine me talking for 45 fucking minutes, though. It'd be fucking horrible. Who would want that?
All right, go ahead. Number 8.
Is Christian Kirk. 5 targets, 5 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, almost 22 fantasy points in most platforms, PPR platforms. Only owned in 13% of the leagues. I think, 13% of the rosters. I think that is a guy, anybody that's on the Cardinals is fantasy gold right now. I think they're running and gunning any way possible. Players don't even know what Kyler Murray's going to do is what they're saying. The wide receivers, like when he starts running, we have no clue.
Yeah, no, they looked explosive. I mean, the Arizona looked like their offense is obviously for real. I'm surprised 13%, honestly, because Christian Kirk had a, good year last year, and he was
decent. He was decent. But he was supposed to have that breakout. Everybody.
I don't know how many targets he had, but I know watching him a lot. He liked going to him. He's a big play guy. So Christian Kirk is definitely somebody you want to pick up.
And it was funny because last year there was all this hype going into the season that he's a breakout candidate. He's a guy that I remember a couple of my friends had drafted him. Like they reached for him because they bought that hype, and then they definitely had buyer's remorse later on. But with that being said, going back to the Cardinals, I mean, they have a lot of weapons. Their running backs are solid, but if Kirk is going to be that productive, for Nuke to do what he did that day, this past Sunday, they're going to fucking kill teams. They're going to put up fucking hang 35, 42 points a week. It'll be crazy, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Who knows? Yeah. He's in a high powered offense, and he's going to get snaps like again. So he's going to be there. So that's definitely good pickup if you need a wide receiver.
And I know we shifted gears from running backs to receivers. I'm going to keep it with receivers. I want to bring up Zach Pascal from the Colts. He's only on 1% of the rosters, but he had 5 targets, 4 catches, 43 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay. Big day, right? With TY out, he's going to be one of the top 2, and actually, I don't think he had 2 touchdowns. Actually, I might have misspoke, but he had the 4 catches for 43 yards, with that being said, though,
1 touchdown, I think,
yeah,
or maybe 2, whatever. But he could be a week 1 wonder.
That's why he's somebody that's helpful. T.Y. Hilton's out, and I think Michael Pittman would be the guy to own. But if you can get,
I don't know if I trust Wentz though. I don't trust Wentz. I just don't. I don't know. I never
not was a lot of
big
people
fan of him. So it's not Phillip Rivers or Andrew Luck throwing to him. So this Colt quarterback, I think, could have some issues. So I wouldn't be too high on Pascal. Like I said, he could be one of them week 1 wonders.
Yep.
That
no, you're right. So the next 2 guys are guys that the next 2 guys are dudes I really like. They're rookies. Terence Marshall Jr. and Rondell Moore. Rondell Moore is owned in a lot more leagues. I mean, he's owned by 20. He's in 27% platform. He's on 27% of the rosters on platforms. I hate saying owned. And Terence Marshall Jr. is on 20% of rosters. So these dudes are obviously they're known because they're rookies, right? They're those guys that people are hoping to hit. And with that being said, though, Rondell Moore had 29% of the snaps, 5 targets, 4 catches for 68 yards. They're trying to get the ball in his hands. And he's another one, they want to try to another electric guy out there in Arizona. I mean, it's crazy that he's not owned in more, he's not on more rosters, but Terence Marshall Jr. is another one, with Curtis Samuel being out. This is not Curtis Samuel. I think it's not Curtis Samuel. Shoot. I have him on my other team. I'm lost in the train of thought, but Terence Marshall Jr. is I think it is Curtis Samuel, taking over for him. And with him being out, that's helpful because he's only owned in 20% of the league. He's an electric player. While he only had 26 yards, I think he's a guy that has long-term value. If you could get him now, I just see him kind of finding his niche with the Panthers and being like that slot that's going to get more targets. He's going to see 6-7 targets and produce some fantasy points. And, if you can get even more, if you can get close to 10, he's just somebody long-term I like, even in redraft leagues. Even if you could get him now, I think he's somebody that you'd want to try to hold on to. It depends on where you are on your. If you're, I wouldn't go high on a waiver claim though. If you're 1 through 6, I don't know if I would go for Terence Marshall. I'd try to see if you may be able to get him later, or use your, don't use all your budget on a guy like that. But I think he's somebody you could steal and be happy down the road that you did grab him before anybody else. Because he's kind of under the radar, just because he didn't produce week 1.
Okay.
And rounding out my top list here, I have Kenneth Gainwell, I'm sorry, for Philly. I don't know if you watch any of their game, but he looked pretty good. I was surprised for the Rook, 9 carries, 37 yards and 37 yards.
Yeah. I mean, I got Miles Sanders, so I'm hoping he doesn't blow up too much this year, but he looked good. He's definitely going to get some touches there, but I don't think he's going to be.
No, but he's a good insurance policy. This is where you get some value. Yeah,
you're right. Exactly. Good insurance policy. No doubt about it.
There's value there, and if that's a guy you could get in the back end, and like you just said, you have Miles Sanders. Can't really lose there if you want to use that.
Yeah, Agent 9 likes Rondell Moore.
Yeah,
he's under the radar.
Man, so he's fun. He was fun to watch in college. His highlight tapes are amazing. Just give it a Google and take a peek, man. Yes, sir, Balloons.
Yeah, I want to put up these comments here, but it's hard to read the comments and listen to you at the same time. So
don't listen to me.
I wasn't, but I was trying to act like I was.
So I'm going to keep it on a wide receiver, though. I'm going to go back. So number 3 would be Tim Patrick for the Broncos. With Jerry Jeudy out, I think he's a dude that steps right in. Mm-hmm. Cortland Sutton, obviously, he was a big dud last week, but I think Tim Patrick, 4 targets, 4 catches, almost 40 yards, and a touchdown, 11.9 fantasy points.
You got a new quarterback there, so you got to see who he's going to start clicking with, and so Tim Patrick could be one. I mean, Sutton is definitely going to be the dude. He's just, he's a freak of nature. He's a good player, but
a good wide receiver too. Yeah, I think for Tim Patrick. You're right.
He's a really good receiver. But I mean, Teddy Bridgewater might, like him. So we'll see.
I'm going to round this list out with 2 running backs, Claudio. All right. So here's where we're at, right? So this guy is kind of, Kamara's the number 1 in New Orleans, but Tony Jones Jr. on 22% of the rosters out there right now. So he's available.
Tony Jones Jr.
11 carries, 50 yards, 1 catch, 3 yards. Granted, it's 5.8 points, but he's a guy that I think has long-term value again, especially, I mean, if Kamara gets hurt, they're going to get the ball in his hands a lot, so there's always that potential for injury. And if you're a guy that looks to play the long game, he's not a bad guy to grab. I may not waste a bunch of my my funds coming to grab him. But if he is out there with him being already owned in 22% or on 22% of the rosters, I think it's something to think about. But the running back you're going to want to try to grab with that number one priority is Elijah Mitchell. We've talked about him all day with the Niners. 19 carries, 104 yards, 1 touchdown. If this Sermon thing plays out and he is in the doghouse and he is, this gives Mitchell a clear shot at the RB1 in San Francisco with that Shanahan offense. I think he's somebody that you would like, I have Sermon and I have the number one priority in one of my leagues. I'm definitely grabbing him. He's the one dude that even if he's my backup and Sermon ends up taking over, I'm good there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's nice to have a guy like that has over 100 yards available. He's only on 8% of the rosters. So he's a dude that people are fawning over. Yeah. It's tough. You don't know if he's a one-hit wonder like you talked about, Claudio, with the
week one wonder. Gotta trademark that.
Week one make wonders. A T-shirt.
I should make a T-shirt.
Make a hat.
I did make hats. That logo, that Keep It at 100 logo was my idea. Don't forget that shit.
We got another one coming.
So, but Agent 9 says these are some deep dives, valuable info.
Hey, man, trying. We're trying. Steven Johnson. Fans. I'm not the Rain Man of statistics like he is. He's out playing with flip furries or whatever it is he's doing out in Cali. But, with all that being said.
Shit. Bullets. He says we need our own show. We have our own show. What are we talking about? We're on it right now.
Yeah. Steven who?
Get with it, Bullets.
I love it. Josh E. I love seeing everybody in the chat too, man. You guys are fucking awesome, dude.
This is cool. And we get to talk.
And that's a beautiful thing, I actually have to clear my voice and shit.
Abused. we just get
if they only knew.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. No, but it's all, I got to say, though.
That keeps that show together, Jackle.
That's right.
Don't you forget it.
We make the little thumbnail picture that they put out on YouTube. You and I are in the background, fucking chilling. I love it.
It's great.
It's fucking, dude, our show the other night was fucking crazy. Almost 2,000 people in the chat. It was fucking
listen, I don't do BHL anymore. I told Phil, I'm like, listen, I can't do it because I go to his house, I watch the game, and then if I stay for BHL, it's another 3 hours. But even last year, there was 1,000 people. I'm sitting there trying to do the comments. I'm like, no,
dude, it was wild.
Dude, just I can't keep up with it. But it's amazing, dude. It's great because they put out a fucking great show.
Yeah.
And they tell it like it is, and that's what people need to fucking hear. So that's it.
It's perfect. Keep it at 100. With that being said, I think we probably should wrap this up. I told you I'd keep it under an hour. We're looking at 58:30.
Nice.
In terms of real quick, this show is real quick. We even have a little fucking outro. I just want to say thank you again, Claudio. You were fucking awesome for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
It was fun, yeah, definitely.
We have a lot of fun here, obviously. It's one-up fantasy where you can one-up your competition. We have some fuckery going on over here where we get into whatever, God knows what, when Steven's not around. I hope you guys had fun listening with us. But with all that being said, it's time to say goodnight. Good luck. Get your waiver claims in. This is Chris Jackle. That's Claudio the Barber. Have a good night, people.
Peace.